and good day. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz from eTurboNews, and this is a breaking news update. For more news updates and shows, please go to youtube.com/travel news group. youtube.com/travel news group. Here's our update.
America remembers 9/11 victims 20 years after the terror attacks. The remembrances have become an annual tradition, but Saturday takes on special significance, coming 20 years after the morning that many view as a turning point in U.S. history. In a painful reminder of those changes, only weeks ago U.S. and Allied forces completed a chaotic withdrawal from the war the U.S. started in Afghanistan shortly after the attacks in retaliation, which became the longest war in U.S. history. September 11, dead honored on 20th anniversary of attacks. President Biden calls for unity on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Memorials held in New York City and around the country. On the 20th anniversary of the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center and Pentagon, Americans have come together to remember and honor nearly 2,977 victims who lost their lives on September 11, 2001. Today's somber ceremony at the September 11 Memorial in New York City began with a moment of silence at 8:46 a.m. 12:46 Greenwich Mean Time, the exact time first of two hijacked passenger jets crashed into New York City's World Trade Center. Relatives of the victims then began to read aloud the names of 2,977 people who perished in the attacks, an annual ritual that lasts 4 hours. "We love you and we miss you," many of them said as somber violin music played at the official ceremony, attended by dignitaries including President Joe Biden and former Presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. At Ground Zero in New York City, 2,753 people, from all over the world, were killed in the initial explosions, jumped to their deaths, or simply vanished in the inferno of the collapsing towers. At the Pentagon, an airliner tore a fiery hole in the side of the superpower's military nerve center, killing 184 people in the plane and on the ground. And in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the third wave of hijackers crashed into a field after passengers fought back, sending United 93 down before reaching its intended target, likely the U.S. Capitol building in Washington. The remembrances have become an annual tradition, but Saturday takes on special significance, coming 20 years after the morning that many view as a turning point in U.S. history. In a painful reminder of those changes, only weeks ago U.S. and Allied forces completed a chaotic withdrawal from the war the U.S. started in Afghanistan shortly after the attacks in retaliation, which became the longest war in U.S. history. Today's memorials come as national discord is overshadowing any sense of closure amid anger about the messy Kabul evacuation, which included 13 U.S. soldiers killed by a suicide bomber. In a video posted on the eve of the anniversary, President Biden urged Americans to show unity, our greatest strength. To me, that's the central lesson of September 11. It's that at our most vulnerable, in the push and pull of all that makes us human, in the battle for the soul of America, unity is our greatest strength, Biden said in a 6-minute message from the White House. While many of the large events will happen in and around New York City, people across the country have planned events to remember those who died and to educate the public, including outside fire stations throughout New York in remembrance of the 343 firefighters who lost their lives. At the Pentagon, headquarters of the U.S. Department of Defense, a U.S. flag will be unfurled on the west side where an airplane hit the building at precisely 9:37 a.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time, 13:37 Greenwich Mean Time, on September 11, 2001. In Shanksville in southwestern Pennsylvania, family and guests will gather at the National Memorial there to honor the 40 people killed when United Airlines Flight 93 crashed in a farm field. In Houston, people will gather on Saturday for the 9/11's Heroes Run. At a U.S. Navy training installation outside Chicago, 2,977 flags have been placed in a field to honor each of those killed in the attacks 20 years ago.
Thank you for listening to our news update. There's more on youtube.com/travel news group, or you can read us, of course, in going to our news portal at eTurboNews.com or travelnews.online.